Hello! The next question in the series I'm doing, answering questions, is how to explain to my husband that my need for time alone does not equal time away from him. And that's a very, very tricky one. I'm also going to send you the link to the question I answered about conflict between roommates, introvert and extrovert, because I explained a lot around what introversion and extroversion is, and this answer kind of builds on that, but I will just summarize again. One of the key definitions that distinguish between introversion and extroversion is that introverted energy gives of oneself in terms of one's energy source in order to interact, and therefore it's quite a draining experience. And the way that an introvert recharges is alone in one's own mind, versus an extrovert where it is an energizing experience to interact, and that is the source of where an extrovert gains energy. You have to understand those two distinct differences. Neither of them are better than the other, but they are the distinct differences between the two. So you've got the extroverted energy, and if your husband is this one, it's going to be very hard for him to understand your experience because he won't be able to relate to it. And you know, Jung says you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are, which means you have to be open to communicate with somebody to truly believe what their experience is in the first place, because it won't be similar to your experience. So if your husband is extroverted and he genuinely gets energized from interacting with the world, he would naturally want you to be one of those people who's there interacting to energize him. So he's coming from his point of reference, imagining what it would feel like for him if he needed to spend time away from you. For him, it would have to mean that he's choosing to deliberately reject you. So he really needs, and this is the only way this can happen, is in a very safe conversation where there's a bit of education going on and a bit of expressing of each other, how each other feels. And again, watch that roommate video. But what he needs to have the penny drop about is that you want to give the best of yourself to him, but interacting is a giving experience that depletes you. So it's going to spend time alone so that you can recharge is actually about being able to generate energy to give to him when you are together. So time with yourself is not time away from him. Time with yourself is intentional time so that you can generate yourself, so that time together can be good and can be valuable. Definitely watch the conflict resolution video, because I talk around color models and I explain how introversion, extroversion, and the other Jungian preference, function, thinking and feeling fit together on this board. Introversion, extroversion spectrum, thinking, feeling spectrum, and the combination of thinking and extroversion is this quadrant, the combination of extroversion, feeling is this quadrant, introversion, thinking this quadrant, introversion, feeling this quadrant, and it's summarized by 4 colors to just easily refer to those. So if somebody's extroverted, they sit in one of these two, they're either extroverted thinking or extroverted feeling, and the influence of thinking and feeling dramatically impacts that person's behavior. So I don't just want to generalize around how to deal with him, because I'm not sure how these other functions influence him as a person, but this person would not understand at all if you wanted to take a very cerebral approach, and this person would feel very offended because they're all about recognition, and they're all about being acknowledged and being told that they're wonderful. So without knowing that information, it's hard to give you any specifics, but after you've listened to the conflict resolution video, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts if that reframing I gave you is useful at all.